going to understand about what is distance and displacement. So what is the meaning of distance? For example, if a person start from a point and he is moving, in a circular path in different directions. So that point is final point is P. So what is the meaning of distance? Distance is the length of the path traveled or else total path traveled by an object from initial to final point, that we can consider total distance, that is called distance. What is the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance between the initial to final point, that we call it as displacement. So distance and displacement we can measure in meters, in SI unit, and in CGS unit we can write it as centimeter. And distance is a scalar quantity. Why it is a scalar quantity? It will not depend on direction, it only magnitude. Displacement means it will depend on both direction and the magnitude. That's why we call it as vector quantity. Distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Distance can never be zero, but displacement can be zero. When distance and displacement can be zero, if the particle is moving in a circular path and start from a point, again come back to the same point, then displacement is zero, but distance will not equal to zero. And if the person is traveling in a straight path A to B, both distance and displacement both are equal in this case, and it is moving in a straight path on the same direction. But it is moving in a circular path, so distance it will not be zero, but displacement may be zero. Understood? What is the difference between distance and displacement? What is the distance? Total path length covered by an object, and displacement is the shortest distance between the initial to and final point. And distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. And distance is measured always positive, but displacement we can measure positive or negative or zero also. Understood? And if the particle is moving in a circular path, distance is not equal to 0, but displacement is 0 when it will come back to the same position. And similarly, if the particle is moving in a straight path, both distance and displacement are equal. Understood? What is the difference between distance and the displacement? So now we are going to solve few problems related to distance and displacement. For example, we will solve one numerical. So if the particle is moving in the O to A direction, suppose for example it will cover some 3 meters. Afterwards it will turn to north direction, that is B point, it covers 4 meter. So here how to calculate the distance and displacement between the 2 points, that is O to B. How to calculate here distance and displacement? So here we can use the Pythagoras theorem and we can calculate. So distance means total path length, that is 3 plus 4, we can write it as 7 meter. But we need to calculate the displacement from O to B. We should calculate this distance. How to calculate that distance? Using the Pythagoras theorem formula, OB is equal to square root of OA square plus OB square. Here OA is 3 square and OB is 4 square. So 3 square is 9 and 4 square is 16. Square root of this 9 plus 16 is 25. square root of 25 is 5 meters. Means displacement is equal to 5 meter and distance is 7 meter. And also one thing you should remember, so distance always greater than or equal to displacement. So this is the one numerical. We will solve another one like this. If the particle is moving in a circular path like this, so origin O we can write and radius they are given, R only they are given, and here the distance is covered from the A to B semicircle of the axis. This distance we need to calculate. Now they are asking what is the total distance. So if you want to calculate the distance, use the circumference of the circle formula is 2 pi r. Semicircle means you should divide it by 2. Means distance is pi r. And how to calculate the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance between the initial to final point is, that is diameter of the circle. We can write it as r plus r is equal to 2r. So here the distance is pi r and the displacement is 2r. Like this we can solve the problems on distance and displacement. Suppose they are given some radius value, some 2 meters. So what is the distance? So what is the pi value? Pi value is 3.14 or we can write it as 22 divided by 7. So distance is equal to, we can write it as 2 pi and displacement is 2 into 2 is 4 meters. Like this we can solve the problems on distance and displacement.